Have you ever wondered why your legs feel weaker even after eating healthily, exercising, and following all the right procedures? Why do the steps seem to be getting steeper? Why is getting out of a chair taking a little longer now than it used to? Is it just getting older, or is there something else that is quietly harming you? This is where you may be taken aback. It's not always about the things you're not doing. Sometimes you're doing them without even recognizing how terrible they are. Every day, most seniors make a silent mistake. And because they have been taught their entire lives that fruits are nice or healthy and natural, they do it with total confidence, thinking they are making the right choice. Yes, the majority of them are. However, this is the reality that is rarely discussed. Not all fruits are good for the elderly. In reality, some fruits, the ones we eat without hesitation every week, can progressively weaken the legs, increase joint inflammation, induce knee pain, and make walking more difficult. Fruits that are marketed as healthy can actually be bad for your leg strength, balance, and mobility. You see, our bodies alter with age. We get less circulatory. We slow down our metabolism. Additionally, foods that once helped us can now slowly start to hurt us, especially some fruits. They could seem benign. It's possible that they taste sweet. However, they include a lot of acids, carbs, and other things that weaken your legs, induce inflammation in your joints, and impact blood sugar levels. Which aspect is the worst? The damage is slow, subtle, and imperceptible. Until one day, after just a short walk, you feel a searing pain in your calves, a persistent thigh ache, or an unusual stiffness in your knees. Today, we'll expose the 7 deadliest fruits that any senior over 60 should avoid, especially if you want to protect your legs from chronic damage, pain, and weakness. None of these fruits are harmless, even though they may appear to be. Once you realize the truth, you will never look at your fruit plate the same way again. Therefore, if you respect your strength and wish to maintain stable, strong, and pain-free legs, follow me through to the conclusion. This may be the wake-up call your body has been waiting for, but hold on a second. If you're worried about your health, click the subscribe button and turn on notifications before we get started, because we disclose the facts here that no one talks about. Additionally, I want to know if you agree with me. Enter 1 in the comments section if you're watching this video right now and it speaks to you. Type 0 if not. You are unaware of the significance of your voice. Let's talk about the first fruit on our list first, pineapple. The quiet cause of inflammation. The first fruit is the pineapple, which is tropical, juicy, and cool. Due to a substance known as bromelain, it has long been praised for its anti-inflammatory properties. It sounds ideal, doesn't it? Here's the twist, though. Despite the widespread belief that pineapple lowers inflammation, it may really be one of the most dangerous. Fruits for senior citizens. Strong acids and a lot of natural sugar are found in pineapples, and those sugars are not as safe as they seem, particularly if you're older than 60. Let me clarify. Our blood vessels deteriorate as we age. When blood sugar levels rise, they don't react as they used to. Despite its advantages, pineapple provides a potent natural sugar shock to the circulation. That spike? It harms the little blood arteries supplying your muscles, legs, and feet. With time, less oxygen gets to such places when circulation deteriorates. And after a few short walks, you know what it causes: pain, exhaustion, and swelling. That dull, lingering pain within your thighs. Your knees are so stiff. Even after sitting for hours, I still have sudden ankle pain. There's more, though. Pineapple is acidic in addition to being sweet. Additionally, that acidity might cause joint irritation, particularly if you already have inflammation or arthritis. It intensifies the heat in your hips, ankles, and other areas like that. And knees. After eating pineapple, some people even say that their legs felt heavy, as though their strength were gradually disappearing. Additionally, pineapple's bromelain may interfere with blood thinners if you're using them. Way certain medications function, making them excessively potent or ineffective. The most hazardous aspect: no adverse effects are evident, no red flags, no pain right away. The harm happens gradually. Keep quiet. And you might already be having trouble moving by the time you realize it, as you once did. The worst aspect is that most elderly people are unaware that the fruit they consume for health reasons may be contributing to the yearly weakness they experience in their legs. What can you do then? Pineapple is not something to be feared or hated, but you have to know, particularly if you're currently enduring persistent leg discomfort or inexplicable swelling. Now, if a fruit with anti-inflammatory qualities can be this detrimental to aging legs, the impact is subtle, but serious. What about the next one? The muscle imposter. Bananas. Soft, sweet, and rich in potassium. Bananas are frequently hailed as the perfect fruit for energy and muscular well-being. They are claimed to promote heart health, fuel exercise, and avoid cramping. The problem is that this isn't always the case with elders. You know, natural sugar and quick-digesting carbs are abundant in bananas. That is correct. After consuming one, your blood sugar levels quickly rise. Younger people process the sugar more quickly. However, the body's reaction to insulin in older persons is less effective and slower. When those spikes occur regularly, inflammation rises, circulation deteriorates, and your legs carry the weight. You might experience tight calves, a heaviness in your legs after meals, or a dull discomfort as you walk. When going upstairs. However, it doesn't end there. Additionally, bananas might lead to fluid retention, particularly in people with cardiac issues. This results in swelling feet, painful joints, and swollen ankles. Bananas are also simple to overeat because they feel light and healthful. One after breakfast, another before going for a stroll, and perhaps a third later in the day, not recognizing that this behavior is subtly weakening you. The worst thing? It develops gradually. Not all at once. It gets more difficult to move with time. Your legs are more sore. You feel less stable. Therefore, if you frequently feel stiff, swollen, or uncomfortable, examine more closely at your habit of bananas. The fruit you believed to be beneficial to your muscles might be stealing their strength, in fact. Let's move on to a smaller fruit that may be just as dangerous despite its seemingly harmless appearance. Grapes. The minimal cause of inflammation in the joints. They're little. They're charming. Additionally, they are frequently promoted as heart-healthy. However, despite their innocent appearance, grapes may be subtly causing joint pain, particularly as you get older. The offender? Fructose. Natural sugars found in abundance in grapes, especially fructose, are digested differently than different sugars. Excess fructose consumption, particularly in elderly persons, directly leads to the liver, where it is transformed into uric acid and fat. Acid uric? And that's where the trouble starts. Particularly in areas like your toes, ankles, and knees, uric acid accumulates in the joints. It results in searing, burning ache, that makes every stride feel heavier or wakes you up at night? Have you ever experienced an abrupt tightness in your calves? An excruciating ache in your big toe? Perhaps it goes beyond age. You may have had some grapes as a snack earlier. That's not all, though. It's simple to consume too many grapes. Since they're bite-sized, it's typical to take a handful. And then another. You've had many cups before you realize it. That's a lot of sugar in a short period of time. Your joints might not agree, even though the sugar can feel innocuous. Additionally, fructose encourages chronic inflammation of the soft tissues in your legs, as well as other parts of your body. Your legs may feel exhausted and unsteady as a result of this inflammation, which can also stiffen joints and limit mobility. Therefore, it's time to stop eating grapes if you've been experiencing leg pain, swelling, or stiffness. Think again. In actuality, even the tiniest fruit can make a significant difference. We'll then look at a fruit that appears to be the perfect source of hydration and refreshment, yet may actually be depleting your energy. The sweet trick that raises your blood sugar levels. Watermelon, light, cool, and a summertime favorite, watermelon is frequently regarded as one of the healthiest fruits in the area. It's hydrating, low in calories, and largely water. What then could something that seems so innocuous be dangerous? The truth is as follows. Because watermelon has a very high glycemic index, it quickly elevates blood sugar levels, much like candy. Additionally, for elderly people whose insulin that surge might have major repercussions because regulation is already slower. Let's dissect it. Your blood sugar spikes when you consume watermelon. Insulin is then released by your body to deal with the spike. However, that insulin response may be slow or irregular in aging bodies. The outcome? Issues with circulation, inflammation, and discomfort, particularly in regions where blood supply is already inadequate, such as knees, feet, and legs. After a summer picnic, have you ever felt an odd swelling around your ankles? Or a dull pain in your legs following a watermelon snack? Perhaps that isn't a coincidence. Due to the fact that, although watermelon tastes like hydration, it acts more like sugar. Your blood vessels are under stress. It encourages rigidity. Additionally, it makes walking more challenging, and overeating is quite simple. One slice becomes 2, then 3. It is sweet, juicy, and light in texture. However, all of that sweetness accumulates. Additionally, the harm is modest, building up subtly. Your legs start to feel increasingly worn out. You feel as though your joints are tighter. You may even experience a sense of weight gain when ascending stairs. It goes beyond simply getting older. What's on your plate can be the cause. Therefore, if you've been eating watermelon frequently and you're feeling stiff, swollen, or exhausted, it's time to reconsider this summertime mainstay. Because the things that feel the safest at times are subtly preventing us from moving forward. The acid attack of oranges on aging joints. Bright, zesty, and high in vitamin C, oranges are frequently regarded as a basic component of good health. They can be found in immune-boosting beverages, breakfast spreads, and even daily pills. However, these citrus fruits may conceal a less agreeable reality for senior citizens. Let's examine it more closely. Oranges have a strong acidity. Citric acid is the acidic taste we identify with freshness, and that acid can silently damage the joints in aged bodies. You can get a mild knee soreness as a result. Hip stiffness that persists after waking up. Or after sitting for too long, your legs will have a dull burn. It may seem like that's just aging. However, what if it's a part of your morning routine? This is what's taking place. Our joints grow more sensitive as we age. The cushioning material is worn down. Additionally, when you daily introduction of acid, which irritates the sensitive joint linings. When you combine it with orange juice's natural carbohydrates, the effect is twofold: inflammation plus variation in blood sugar levels. When combined, they provide an environment in your body that increases the likelihood of pain, movement, and challenging, and the edema is more enduring. That seemingly innocuous orange juice glass? It can be causing the precise discomfort you're attempting to avoid. Even worse, due to its widespread use and positive health claims, most people don't ever suspect them. They are unaware that their health drink in the morning may be stoking the same issue that makes their knees hurt: leg weariness or tight joints. If you've been waking up stiff, if it takes longer for your knees to warm up, if you've been having trouble, it might be time to reevaluate citrus if you get inexplicable hip pain. Now, oranges aren't always bad. However, for elderly people, particularly those who are already coping with arthritis or irritation, the everyday acid can accumulate inconspicuously. The sour culprit of leg fatigue. Green apples. Seniors who want to cut back on sugar generally choose green apples because they are crisp, acidic, and frequently seen as the healthier apple. They appear to be safer than red apples since they are less delicious. However, looks can be deceiving. Many people are unaware that green apples can still have a significant impact on leg health in two ways. Let's start by discussing malic acid. The bitter, acidic flavor of green apples is caused by this chemical. Malic acid can irritate delicate joint and digestive tissues in elderly folks, although it's okay for younger bodies. After eating green apples, some elderly people complain of a burning feeling in their thighs or hips. Shortly after consumption, some people experience a tingling sensation in their feet or a tightness in their knees. Why? Because our nerves and joints become more sensitive to specific acids as we age. Then there is the sugar aspect that is disguised. Green apples still contain natural sugars, even though they don't taste as sweet. Furthermore, if consumed by itself, such as a late-night snack, those sugars have the potential to raise blood sugar levels. The typical issues, inflammation, tight joints, and circulation stress, are brought on by that surge. It is evident how quickly apples can impact blood sugar when you consider that they are frequently consumed uncooked, lacking in fiber and protein to balance them. Do you get nighttime cramping in your calves? A peculiar feeling of exhaustion when climbing stairs? Something that makes you stiff in the morning? Your healthy green apple habit might be the cause. Worst of all, it seems really secure. That is the risk. Therefore, it could be best to take a break and reevaluate your apple intake if you're experiencing scorching legs, fatigued joints, or unexplained stiffness, because your strength can be subtly eroded by even seemingly wholesome things. Let's now examine a fruit that is popular, tropical, and luscious, but it may be the most harmful to aging joints of all. Let's discuss mangoes, the sugar bomb that makes joint pain worse. Mango. The mango is frequently regarded as the king of tropical fruits because it is juicy, golden, and bursting with summer flavor. Many people love it. However, this fruit might be the most misleading of all for elderly people who are experiencing joint discomfort, exhaustion, or weakness in their legs. Why? Since mangoes naturally contain a lot of sugar. One mango can have almost 45 grams of natural sugar, which is more than certain sweets, even though it may taste light and healthful. Your blood sugar spikes quickly when you eat that much sugar at once, especially if your metabolism has slowed down with age. And that spike is followed by an inflammatory response and an insulin surge. How does your physique appear to reflect that? It's the unexpected weariness in your legs, that faint, flaming feeling in your knees, the dull pain that develops after prolonged standing or walking. Over time, this trend becomes increasingly harmful for adults over 60, particularly those with prediabetes, joint inflammation, or neurological problems. High inflammation is correlated with high sugar. Additionally, inflammation first attacks weak points, including circulation, joints, and nerves. Mango may be the silent trigger if you've experienced an odd tingling sensation in your toes or swelling around your ankles after eating a seemingly healthful fruit snack. Even worse, it's easy to overeat mango because it tastes so light and delicious. A bowl is formed by a few slices, and that natural sugar begins acting dangerously. The tough thing is this: there aren't any warning signs right away. No jarring discomfort, no warning signs, just deteriorating mobility over time. Reduced adaptability. One more stride, as well as the increasing realization that your legs aren't as strong as they once were. Therefore, should you never again consume mango? Not always. However, it's time to pay attention if you already exhibit symptoms of inflammation, joint discomfort, or metabolic imbalance. Because one delicious bite at a time, even the most exquisite fruit can subtly sap your energy. Let's discuss what you can eat next. Let's investigate the fruits that reduce inflammation and provide your legs with the support they need. What you can eat in its place. Leg-strengthening, healing fruits. After learning which fruits to stay away from, let's turn our attention to the good news. Fruits that can increase your strength, lower inflammation, and improve your range of motion. These are not only secure, they have therapeutic effects. Let's get started. 1. Berries. The little protectors. Blackberries, raspberries, and blueberries are tiny, colorful fruits that are low in sugar and high in antioxidants. They promote healthy blood vessels, reduce inflammation, and enhance circulation, particularly in the legs and feet. Anthocyanins, which are abundant in berries, are also known to preserve cartilage and lessen joint stiffness. Try using a handful of frozen or fresh berries in your breakfast, or as a protein-rich afternoon snack with Greek yogurt. 2. The natural anti-inflammatory drug. Cherries. It is well known that cherries, particularly tart cherries, lower uric acid levels, hence preventing joint discomfort and gout. They can help relax tired muscles, lessen foot swelling at night, and ease the burning sensation in the knees. Just keep in mind that moderation is essential. A few makes a big difference. 3. The unsweet superfruit. Avocado. In actuality, avocados are one of the healthiest fruits for your joints. Packed with monounsaturated fats, it lubricates your joints and lowers internal inflammation. Avocados also give you consistent energy without the sugar crash and help control blood sugar. For a creamy, restorative boost, mix it into smoothies, spread it on toast, or add it to salads. 4. Papaya. Mild and good for your gut. Papaya is rich in papain and other enzymes that help lower inflammation, and it's easy to digest. It's especially beneficial if you have bloating or digestion problems that put strain on your legs. It is ideal for aging joints, since it is moisturizing, calming, and soft. 5. The quiet stabilizers. Pears. Pears are rich in antioxidants, high in fiber, and easy on blood sugar. They support your energy, equilibrium, and mobility by subtly sweetening your food without causing sugar surges. To improve absorption and prevent sugar drops, eat them with a little quantity of nuts or seeds. To sum up, particularly beyond age 60, not all fruits are made equal. In the struggle for stability, power, and balance, the proper people can be your allies. Change it. Use fiber, antioxidants, and anti-inflammatory properties in place of sweets and acids. Above all, pay attention to your legs. They are carrying more than just your body. Your independence is being carried by them. If you've read this far, I want to tell you something as someone who truly cares, not simply as a health advisor. There is yet time. Not for you, not for your limbs, not for your life. You see, growing older doesn't diminish our power. It only demands us to use it more wisely. And you've made a significant progress today by understanding what to eat and what to avoid. You have opted for clarity over ambiguity, strength over conjecture. And above all, take action rather than be afraid. Therefore, the next time you ascend the stairs, get out of a chair or go on a walk. Recognize that each movement is your body recovering its energy, one conscious step at a time, and that it is no longer merely a habit. And keep this in mind. Your weight is less than what your legs can support. They bear your dreams, your dignity, and your independence. Therefore, let's safeguard them every day with little, deliberate decisions rather than striving for perfection. You underestimate your strength, and you just demonstrated it today.